Welcome to the American Free Thinker. Today's topic, abortion. Just like immigration, abortion really shouldn't even be a topic. It's pretty cut and dry what's right and what's wrong. Now quickly, I'll go to the history, which really won't take too long. There's an evil monster, someone that I would put probably equal to Hitler, Stalin, Mao, and her name is Margaret Sanger. She actually went from having decent ideas for women's health during the women's right movement of the early 1900s, concentrating on women's health, reproductive health. But she started pushing this thing called abortion rights and did everything in her power, obviously, to make it part of the woman's right issue. Now, the problem with Margaret Sanger, which the problem with most Democrats of the time, is that she was a hardcore racist. Her purpose for making sure that abortion became such a big issue is because she didn't like the idea of blacks and immigrants having children. That was her ulterior motive. And like I said, she was able to convince the masses that there are good reasons, healthy reasons, the right of the woman to choose type issues. So she was able to get abortion, and it really does. It amazes me that she was able to fool enough people. Now, it doesn't amaze me that she was able to fool some of the other leaders of the time, maybe. Because prior to this time, abortion was as evil to women as it should be. Bit by bit, because of her desire to stop black people and immigrants from having children, she then put this on the platform. Bit by bit, time goes by, and then of course abortion then became part of the women's movement. Then of course you had Roe v. Wade. So that's just a quick history of abortion. It literally is as simple as that. Now all of a sudden you have all these women that have been convinced, and I believe it for the majority. It's just the leadership, the majority of the women's rights movement, at least the first wave and second wave feminists. That probably not the third wave feminists. I'd say they believe like Margaret Sanger, but women still didn't want abortion. It wasn't something that most women, your majority of women, even in the movement, we're all excited about the idea that, hey, we can have abortion on demand, abortion as a form of contraception. Again, it was just the leaders that kept pushing it, and they're the loudest ones, okay? Just to be honest with you, on most topics, we don't get out there and march and scream and holler, the ones who just think normally. It's the crazy ones that get loud. And then they work their way up to leadership, and now they have power with that louder talk. Now we move from the history to my actual opinion of the details that you get into abortion. Now I will admit that I am probably on the upper echelon of hatred for the concept of abortion. I'm a hardliner. But there are those who are even more hardline than I am. And I'll give an example, because the abortion rights activists actually only have two arguments that they can use that actually have any merit. And that is rape and the health of the mother. And those are two legitimate points. The problem is those only go so far. Abortions due to rape and the health of the mother are a very small percentage of actual abortions. And they know that, so therefore they have to put out little talking points. And I'll get to those later. Back to the two main reasons. First, rape. There are hardliners that actually, and the point that they make isn't without merit, and that is, well, two wrongs don't make a right. An evil thing, you don't have to then turn around and then do another evil thing. And then the second argument, the age-old argument, one wrong thing doesn't make another wrong thing good. So what they actually say is that it's not the baby's fault. You're still murdering an unborn child. And believe it or not, there actually are plenty of women that realize that. And they either give it up for adoption or they raise it. I personally would put those women in line for being an angel. I'm blanking on the actual term I'm wanting to use, but they are special people. I, for one, would not make that the law. I, for one, it just makes sense to me. Again, I put it through my filter, the free thinker filter, and logically speaking, if you go to the police and you're trying to find the person who did this, and you go to the hospital and you get checked up and they take whatever they can to try to catch this person, later on you find out you're pregnant, you should be able to take that information to a doctor and then go ahead and have the abortion. Again, if you're willing to keep it, you're at that angel level. To me, that's logical. But I will stipulate that if you want to claim that it was rape, then you should have went to the police and got it checked out. Second, on the idea of rape, nowadays that argument is almost gone as well, though, because there's something called the morning after pill. So it makes sense to me that if you get raped, you go to the police, you go to the hospital, it seems like the hospital would offer you that morning after pill, and now you don't have to worry about it. And that's a good thing. So now the rape argument really is weak for them because of the morning after pill. That's a good thing, the morning after pill. It stops something like that from happening. So then we go to the health of the mother. Well, I don't know too many conservatives that disagree with me that if the mother's health is actually in danger, if they come to the mother and say, we have to induce labor, you cannot carry the baby full term, or let's say the woman develops cancer and she has to do something to help get rid of the cancer, like radiation or chemo. I think logical minds would agree that you do what it takes to save the mother. If the child ends up dying as a result of that, then that's just something bad that happened when you're trying to save the mother. So as far as rape and as far as the health of the mother, I don't know if that's actually an issue. Don't know if it actually ever was. That's why they had to come up with the little talking points. And these are the things that really, they amaze me. See, you have to remember, I'm speaking to mostly Democrats here. You Democrats out there, you hard-working, American-loving Democrats out there, that actually keep voting for a party that thinks it's okay to murder an unborn child right up until the 9th month. How do you sleep at night with that knowledge? It absolutely drives me nuts. And you can't come up with, well, what about rape and what about the health of the mother, because that's not really even an issue. And everybody knows it's not an issue. So instead, they just don't talk about it. Somehow they just ignore it while they're voting for a Democrat that's okay with murdering an unborn child. They use goofy arguments such as, well, it's the right of the mother. Well, how is it the right of the mother to kill its baby? No, that's not even an argument. How do they even use that? Well, it's part of the woman. No, it's not a part of the woman. It's not their arm. You're not saying, guess what? If that lady wants to cut off her arm, hey, more power to you. Now, that's the right of a woman. If that's her body part, go ahead. The baby is not a body part. It's not a liver. Okay, it's not a heart. It's a baby. When it comes out, it won't be anything but a baby. And you actually want to try to use that as an argument. Sit back and think about it for a second. If you just sit back and if you have any morals in your body, you cannot agree with that. Now, if you still want to vote for a Democrat, I'm not going to say you're evil or immoral. That's not the point. But at least admit that, yeah, they're wrong on that part. They're wrong. I'm not a single issue voter. I'm still going to vote for a Democrat. But yeah, you're right. Abortion is wrong. There, I can at least have respect for that. Now, there's another 100 issues that you probably disagree with them on. But hey, remember, Democrats only vote for Democrats because they hate Republicans and conservatives. I'm talking about you normal, hardworking, American-loving Democrats. We know that's why you vote for Democrats, because you hate Republicans and conservatives. You've been taught to. Whether it be by your dad, your union leader, or you're a professor, that's why you vote Democrat. That's why I'm trying to make this a topic-based show. So as far as back to abortion, so you've got the right of the mother. Well, you want true rights. You want a woman's right to choose, a real, true woman's right to choose. That would be prostitution. So if you agree with prostitution, that is a woman's right to choose. That is truly a woman's right to choose what she does with her body. The government, get your hands off my body. That would be prostitution. Now, I'm not saying that I'm okay with prostitution or not. If you want to use that as another topic someday, that's fine. The point is prostitution is true woman's right to choose. Abortion is not. That's a human being inside that does have inalienable rights. All these different little talking points. The right to choose. It's part of the body. So now we've discussed about the women side of it. Somehow I don't even know how a woman can murder its unborn child. I don't even know. But now what about the men? I have a natural protection mode in me. It's just natural, and I believe that men have that. I want to protect women and children, and that's a good thing. How can any man agree that it's okay to murder an unborn baby? How can any man worth any salt agree with that? Well, I'll tell you how. Because one, they've been, I guess, beating their heads since they were children to be more sensitive. The millennials. You have to be more sensitive. You have to care more about what women feel and all. Well, guess what? For a man to get on the side of a feminist and say, yeah, sure, it's okay to have an abortion, I'm going to say half of them do it because they want to sleep with the woman. I'm sorry, I think they're evil. That's what else is the reason for that? All right, I've reached my 15 minutes. I could go on for hours talking about this. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, please remember to go ahead and ring that bell, share it. If you are on Facebook, please like it, share it. Thanks again for listening, and hopefully you'll be here and listen to the next one. Thank you.